All right. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to the RationalVistor.co's Daily Brief. Dun, dun, dun. We've got a full crowd in the lounge here this morning. Not quite sure, but I think we got the YouTube page rocking and rolling here. Hopefully it'll kick in. There we are. Yay. So we got a bunch of people over there. Hi, everybody. Hi, Alex. I see you over there. Pretty active lounge this morning. So nice to see when I woke up this morning. Great conversations abound. As you can see, lots of conversations I'm having with site people, slowly working towards moving on to this new website. Fjord's actually coming on full time in about 1 month, which is great. Julian is coming on full time. He's going to take a little sabbatical from BA and work on the site full time for the next month or two. So that's great. Lots of activity going on in the site. We had our contest winners, Sen's Generosity. Congratulations again to Roland and Rye. Interestingly enough, though, I have not heard from Luke. So, Luke, if you're out there, please reach out to TRI. You have a free level 2 on us if you want it, buddy. Thomas, of course, in the house. He was on the lounge. Luke, I mean, all right, well, cool. So if somebody sees Luke or, says something, get him to PM me so we can get him hooked up here. I'm Luke, and I'm here for my free level 2.
I was about to do that. Rob.
Rob's damn quick.
He beat me to it.
And I remember Thomas, he used to always do that when a year or two ago, whenever I used to go in the lounge hunting down tutorials. The good old days. Anyway, as you all heard, Mr. Bear's in the house. How are you this morning, sir?
Doing very well. How are you?
Awesome. Spent great PMA yesterday. It was a really enjoyable experience. Had a really good RSP meeting last night. Actually, Thomas, you should try and get your butt in these good meetings. If we have time, a couple stock market ideas that we came out of the meeting last night, I think really interesting. One is a bear proxy on the Canadian financial sector. Mike, are you here? I don't know whether Mike, because Mike basically is our chair of our RSP meeting. I thought it was a really constructive meeting. And also, too, we took a really good look at the uranium names. And we were sort of chatting a little bit recently about Dr. Pippa. Actually, I don't think it's Dr. Pippa. I think it's his Macro Voices guy. Somebody else was on his show touting uranium. And I got to admit, we looked at the charts last night, and they look really interesting. So, if you are interested specifically in the stock market and that, try and pop into that. And also, maybe we should have like a weekly derivatives meeting, Thomas, for your group?
That sounds awesome.
So, look forward to those in the future. And it's really constructive. This is good quality information. We went from all the way from penny uranium stocks that look really interesting all the way up to derivatives and lead plays on things like Kamika. So if anything, I think that might have been posted in the RSP group. So if you are a member of that Telegram group, be sure to watch that if you're interested in those stocks.
Did you guys look at copper plays also? Because the guy that was on the show, his name was Marin Katusa, was really smart dude, talked about how he traveled to the different copper mines all over the planet so that he could get a good idea of how he was investing his money.
I think we stuck primarily, we just don't have that much time, So we did the financial services sector. We took a look at about 4 or 5 different proxies and sort of reviewed the whole VIX ETF kind of train wreck. Then we popped on over, took a look at uranium. We did briefly look at the gold and the silver. The level 3ers, Raf and Keith and all them, we did some interesting studies on silver long-term call options. But I think our plan was that next meeting we were going to attack copper. And actually, this is we've got Mr. Copper in the house. He totally called the bottom on copper about a year or two ago with the TRI SOF, James? So if anything, it's great that James is here because maybe James, we can plan to have you in that next RSP meeting if you can next Wednesday. Thomas, of course, you're always welcome, and let's take a good look at the copper sector and see if there's any ideas there. So we'll make that as a plan. Let's see. Anything else I wanted to mention? A couple of people on the, and I love it about you computer people. I've made it reference a lot recently. Bugra's been doing great work on building a sort of algorithm on TradingView, and I think he's marketing it now. So, if you want to be sort of like a test guinea pig for him, not a bad idea to reach out to him. I wasn't feeling so hot yesterday, so I took sort of a bit of a break through the day. Sorry, Chief. But he and I are going to try and work towards getting together. I did notice quite a few people out of the level 1 have built sort of automated little old lady spreadsheets and stuff, and we've got a list of those kind of people. So there's that great stuff in the works on the site. Ian, of course. Ian, I think we're going to, and Thomas, I did see that you mentioned that you were going to try and figure out Ian's setup. Did you be able to wrap your head around his setup here yet?
I looked at it yesterday and I was studying the charts. The quality when he sent me the images was a little tough. I was reading the descriptions. I think I got part of it, but I definitely would love if he wanted to come on himself because I would hate to butcher his setup. It would be great if he wanted to come in and come on.
And if you're out there, right, you want to pop in one day, we'll take maybe 5-10 minutes and just walk people through your setup because he's super excited about it, and it seems to be a really powerful model, 70-80% accuracy. I mean, what the fuck, eh? I mean, we're not here to reinvent the wheel. We're here to make money from trading. If this works, fucking let's run with it. So, Ian, that's the open invitation for you, okay, Chief? And, of course, Benjamin. And Benjamin's usually here. Oh, I don't see him this morning. I did see him here yesterday. But Benjamin's working away on building a GAN square of 9, a dynamic script. So I've been sort of playing around with it. I did sort of, banter back and forth, and I'd still like to continue working with you on that, Benjamin. So for the site, what I see is, and I like to take a couple minutes at the beginning of these daily breaks, just do a little update of what I see happening on the site. I mean, we're fucking rocking and rolling, just firing on all cylinders. Probably just a heads up for the spring, summer level 1 program. Julian did open it up. Quite a few signups have come in, so great. You guys are all ready to go. I think we're not getting it going till like mid-month or something like that, though. So, don't be in a hurry. We're going to start this tomorrow. And that does give enough people. So if there was other people that you knew of that maybe didn't get that notice or whatever, the official word out is that the registration is open. Dun, dun, dun. And maybe we'll, do some tweets and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's about all I want to do on Site Rant. I did, looking at the algo this morning, did see that you guys noticed that the short-term breadth seems to have turned up here for the alts, which is nice. Remember, we were just flatlining there. So you can see on the short term, we're enjoying a bit of a rally window. And we're seeing it in price. I see a lot of altcoins popping up here. At the same time, too, we're not really that overdone on the medium-term basis. So we've got lots of room to run. So we actually might be in a very friendly little window here. Of course, if this starts getting up, nosebleed section, probably greater than 75%, then we're probably going to have to start expecting a bit of a pause. But we're in a nice little friendly window here right now. And gee whiz, what a surprise. Crypto's rallying. Woohoo! Yay! Yippee! So it's nice to see the correlation of the data and the market. I find it interesting at the same time that crypto seems to be catching a bid. And we'll talk lots about these charts in a moment about, Bitcoin. The stock market is awfully heavy right now. You can see, the Willie, and not necessarily stupid, but geez, that's one big ass ugly M right there. And the MACD, and you can see the buying interest is just sort of waning here. Nobody's really interested, and we still have these AB equals CDs working. So a little bit bothersome there from the stocks, but at the same time, too, what I think probably is happening here is the Fed themselves sees this and they really don't want to add fuel to the fire. And I kind of wanted to make a sort of a formal statement here today. Thomas was right in the middle of talking about how the Fed didn't look like they were going to raise rates or something along those lines yesterday. And I like blurted out, oh, there, the Fed's early. We're going to raise rates. Look at the charts. And that was a mistake on my part. As simple as that. And, you know, the great part about what I do here is I don't have an ego. I don't give a fuck whether you guys really like me or not. I just tell you my 30 years experience. I'm not looking to kiss anybody's ass. And if the information helps you, great, you guys love me. And I think on balance, the information that I'm trying to impart on you guys is valid. It's worthful. It helps. And I try to have a positive attitude about it. So I think on balance, we do pretty good. I just wanted to go on record as saying that I interrupted Thomas yesterday. I blurted out my opinion and I was wrong. It's as simple as that. You know, before the show started, I even said to Thomas, I was like, wow, man, I really, you know, I said something completely wrong yesterday. And I wanted to go on record for the whole site to let you know, number one, I was a little upset at myself for interrupting Thomas because he's a very intelligent individual. And number two, I said something that was like opinion based and it was wrong. So as simple as that. So I just wanted to go on the formal record as saying that. Now, having said that, the data doesn't lie. I mean, something has happened here on this Fed funds contract to make the spread contract, and we're not trending higher, so that's good. I did notice that the yields themselves, 2 years have actually now dipped below 5 years. So we do have a little bit of a flattening of the curve here, but you can see all of the bond prices are all rallying. The yields are falling in unison, and you can see the bond prices are ticking higher here. And that's because the Fed came out and said yesterday that we're not going to raise rates. So with that said, the bond market isn't as freaked out about inflation fears, but at the same time too, the Fed has come out and said that inflation is hitting their sort of desired 2% target. I guess the question ultimately here is how many more times down the road, and I think Thomas mentioned that, does the Fed raise for the rest of the year? And really, I've been making the argument that we'll know that the party's over when these things start inverting heavily. And right now, the curve is relatively happy. And as long as bond prices keep moving up here, then these yields will keep moving down in unison. And it's just business as usual. So with all that said, that's sort of Brian's blurt. The bonds are a little bit happier because the Fed isn't so schizophrenic. But at the same time, too, the stock market isn't as happy. And I think this sort of plays into that midsummer trough in the stock market. And it was really cool on the site. Let's see if I can find it. About an hour or so ago, somebody posted the correlation between the Bitcoin and the stock market. And I still honestly feel like Bitcoin's a nice leading indicator. And, you know, what we saw out of Bitcoin over the past 4 or 5 months is probably what we're going to see out of the stock market for the next 4 or 5 months. So I'll see if I can find that chart that someone posted. While I'm hunting for that, Mr. Bear, where do you want to take us this morning?
Well, first, I just wanted to thank you for the kind words, and you're an awesome dude for being able to point out your own mistakes and publicly say that. And it takes a great guy to be able to do that. So hats off to you.
Oh, thank you.
So with that,
hats off for being a loudmouth idiot.
You know, I mean, look, this is a complicated market. There's a lot of stuff going on. If you were right 100% of the time, then I definitely think you were a robot.
Right, and I probably would be on a 100-foot yacht in the middle of the Caribbean, and I wouldn't give a fuck about any of you guys, right?
Well, you're pretty close to 100% anyway, but if you went the full way, then I'd really wonder.
Anyway, so, all right, cool. And you know, the bottom line here is I've probably played this game so long that I know that you will be wrong every once in a while, and you better not set yourself up touting yourself as perfect and, oh, look how good I am. Because when you are wrong, oh my God, then the world just shits on your head. So it's always good to eat a nice big piece of humble pie every once in a while. All right.
Sure.
Having said all that, and again, I highly respect your view. So tell me what you're seeing this morning.
I mean, as far as the market goes, I think the market is a little, I would agree, they're a little surprised about this Federal Reserve meeting. I think when I last looked, the stock markets were down for the day, but I think that the Fed is certainly concerned about the market state, and they're very worried that by raising interest rates, the rise in interest rates would almost be a catalyst to what would be considered a really dangerous market at this point and would lead to a further decline. I mean, we are declining still just because of what's going on in the underlying markets, but I'm almost happy that they didn't raise rates here. But for the longer term, it's going to make it that much more difficult for the Fed to continue raising rates as they move forward. I mean, this is definitely Fed policy. This is what they want to do. But as far as the road ahead of us, I think based on what they came out with yesterday, it's still pretty uncertain. It's kind of like what happened 2 years ago when they said they were going to raise rates, 5 or 6 times, and they only raised it once or twice, I believe.
Yeah.
So this is a tough road. I mean, we're dealing with a ternally different beast. We're dealing with a totally different market. This is something that was created arguably by Alan Greenspan and more so by Ben Bernanke. And this is uncharted water. I mean, raising interest rates in a really dangerous climate spells disaster. So there's no doubt about the writing is on the wall for these markets. The question is just going to be, when does all this shit collapse? And that's the $100 billion question, I think. But I mean, as far as broader markets and what you want to be watching, tech looks weak again. There's a variety of other stocks that just, are echoing the broader market. But I think the real news today is what's going on in crypto. So unless you have anything else you want to say on the equities or dollar or whatever else there is, I'm fine moving on if you're cool with that.
Well, just to make a couple comments, I think it was HUD. This is it was anybody who was in that meeting last night. Are you here? What was the ETF that we were tracking? Just commodity wise, and if anything, that's one good thing about things like uranium is they're not really attached to the stock market right now. And we're really, in our RSP group, we're really warming up to uranium here. This is a weekly price chart. Can you see the W coming in here? And this is the biggest uranium stock. Look at the beautiful OBV. Look at the MACD. This is a weekly price chart. Look at that. Willie. I mean, it's just getting ready to go. And of course, yeah, we got this big old fucking hole in the chart up top here. So if anything, this is the kind of thing that I think for those people that are interested in the stock market, this is completely uncorrelated with like, does this look like the S&P 500 right now? If you guys ever heard the expression chasing alpha, right? And that, little I'm going to say Oriental. I know that's terribly incorrect, politically incorrect. That little Oriental gentleman that Thomas Lee, thank you, knew what I was talking about, because he was all like about correlation, right, and alpha and all that kind of shit, and I couldn't remember his name, but I was trying to convey. So thank you, Joshua. You knew exactly what I was going for. He was all about like Bitcoin is alpha, Bitcoin is alpha. Well, here's another example that this doesn't look like anything in the stock market right now. So, before we leave the stock market, I just wanted to show everybody that uranium chart. I mean, look at that. A picture says 1,000 words, right? If this was an altcoin, would we buy it? It's just that simple, right? So I wanted to mention that before we left the stock market. And then I can't remember the damn symbol. I think it's HFD. Yeah, here it is. This is the Pro Beta S&P TSX for those people who want to play the Canadian real estate market because we all think it's going to collapse. This is the Financial Services 2-time daily bear ETF. So it's 2 times leverage But what do you think, guys? There is the entire ETF. This was, of course, 2008 financial crisis, blah, blah, blah. What do you think? Is that a chart that we might be getting slightly interested in here? So this is something that we're all considering just slowly nibbling away on over the summer here as a way to play the meltdown in the financial services industry. Isn't that cool? So HFD and CCJ. There's two ideas for those people that are interested in the stock market to take a real good look at over the next months. Okay, shall we head on over to crypto?
Mm-hmm.
And seriously, dude, like Thomas, I know you got to watch that RSP meeting because we went through all the different options and the leaps and stuff. There's one leap that's literally got like we're looking at it's about, I think it's like $4 or $5 right now, and it could realistically go to 40 or $50. So I mean, there's a lot of money to be made in those uranium stocks.
Hold on, let me launch my. Oh
wait! What did you just say? And the worst part about it is, I totally want to buy call options on this thing. Do you think there are any call options on this bear financial ETF? No fucking way. There's no way they'd allow that. So anyway, there's no hurry right now. Let's just take our time. And we'll build this out. Usually through the summer, volatility comes out. People feel a little more positive. I suppose we are here in May. So we're probably going to see a little bit of back and forth over the next month or so. But I think there's time to build these positions out. So, okay, what are you saying there? Goldman Sachs to open a Bitcoin trading operation. Oh, now they're calling it a trading operation.
Yeah, so they just hired this new guy. Those of you that know Andrew in the lounge, this is him with the hair bun.
That's good. Where is he? He's usually over on the YouTube page. Let's see if he's rolling on the floor laughing. Hey, there's Dav. Dav, we were worried about you this morning. I hope you're doing okay. All right, so yeah, and how ironic, eh? Goldman Sachs. I wonder if the old timers are just like, wow, these crypto kids, they look so young. They don't shave. They don't cut their hair. They probably are covered in tattoos. What's the world coming to? I swear. All right, what's on your mind here, Treef?
Yeah, so Goldman's officially launching their own trading operation. The details are kind of blurry. We don't really know what they are, but the idea is this guy who left... Actually, I feel like he left the crypto world, came to work for Goldman, and they were like, well, we don't really know what to do with you, so we're going to stick you on the currency desk because that's, you're used to trading crypto and currencies are kind of like an emerging market. So why don't you go there for a little bit? And then they decided, I guess they had a couple meetings, and now this guy's going to spearhead the whole idea of launching their own trading platform. This guy's going to be the lead on trading what the article called, or what we all call physical Bitcoins. So he's going to be managing most of their Bitcoin positions. It didn't say anything about any altcoins in this article, but Goldman is also planning on launching their own internal futures product that's going to be available to the public, is what was hinted at in this article.
And they own Polo now, right?
I think they own Circle, isn't it?
Yeah, which owns Polo.
Oh, okay. Well, it's all a circle anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Eh?
So this is pretty interesting. I mean, Goldman's basically come out and said that they don't believe that Bitcoin is a fraud, and they believe that it's here to stay. The other key takeaway from this is that they want to have a derivatives product or something that tracks something similar to a derivatives product for Bitcoin. And I'm not sure if that's what they were talking about for their futures product and if that was separate from the derivatives, but you can assume that since this isn't live yet, the exact details for what they're going to be doing just isn't going to come out yet. But the idea is that this is going to be launched within the next couple of weeks, according to this New York Times piece. So really interesting stuff coming out of Goldman. Obviously, they're the ones that are always responsible for coming up with these crazy packaged financial products for people that are usually responsible for big problems. So I'm wondering how they're going to manage to do this properly and not screw it up like they have in the past with other packages. But hopefully, with the idea of what Bitcoin is, it'll prevent Goldman Sachs from destroying something like Bitcoin in this instance.
Anybody who's wondering the reference, I just Googled it. Here's on my screen. You can see Goldman backed Circle agrees to buy crypto exchange Polonia. So that's what I was referring to. And you can just do a quick Google search. It'll give you that information. All right. Somebody asks, Daniel Scott asks, what does this mean? Trading with their own money on behalf of clients. Isn't that shareholders' money? Sounds like prop trading to me. Well, no, it would be called discretionary trading, Daniel. And basically, a lot of the quote unquote hedge fund industry is built on that principle. So it's not prop trading would be a firm gives a person capital to go and trade in the marketplace. This is the other way around. So their clients, and keep in mind, Goldman's got some pretty deep pocket clients. They don't want to sit and look at a screen all day. They will basically hire Goldman to trade their accounts for them. And they're called discretionary trading accounts.
So that kind of makes you wonder, how long has an institution like Goldman Sachs been accumulating a physical Bitcoin position in anticipation of something like this?
One of the very first research reports that I read when I came into this industry, the very first research report I read, Goldman Sachs recommended to their clients to buy Bitcoin at $1,100 a Bitcoin. That was one of the very first. So you could argue, as long as I've been in the crypto space, Goldman Sachs has been in the crypto space. And this is just basically, this is, this kind of announcement and stuff like this. This is, more sort of like public disclosure of they obviously have a plan. They've sat down and they've said, okay, step 1 of the plan, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. And so this guy fits into one of the steps. And really, you were talking about building out a derivatives product. You all realize, of course, that, through the housing bubble, and I don't know whether many of you were even involved in the marketplace, but like 2004, 2005, 2006, I was a broker through that. And the running joke, because keep in mind, I used to work financial services, the whole damn thing, right? Full, managing $1 million accounts. The whole talk was not, do you own your own house when you sat down with clients and did KYCs? It was, how many homes do you own? And everybody's seen the movie The Big Short and all that kind of fun stuff. Guess who was selling? They were selling long exposure to the mortgage market, right? How many homes do you own? Everybody's getting rich, buy houses, woo, party. Right? Who was taking the other side of that trade through that whole face rip move up? Goldman, right? So what a coincidence, Thomas. What a coincidence. Here we are in a crypto market that may go face rip up, and Goldman wants to make damn sure that they have all the swap contracts, all the derivatives, so they can take the other side of the trade, so that when the recession comes, and guys, it will come, the whole market will get knocked back down. Doesn't look like it's now. We all know what's the secret tool. Let's see if any of our new people to the site can answer this. Ooh, there's somebody I haven't seen before. Who are you, COS? With a Tron moniker. Well, what is our secret tool that will tell us when the recession is coming? Oh, change. You gave them the answer. Right? We all have the secret weapon. And, of course, Goldman, they know this as well. So they're getting all their ducks in line. Cause, did you know that answer? The yield curve, right? We'll follow our yield curve. That'll tell us when the party's basically coming to an end. Not there yet. So it makes sense that Goldman's probably at like step 3 or step 4 of putting the whole Ponzi scheme, the whole damn structure in place. Anyway, sorry, terrible tangent there. Continue, sir.
I really want to see Goldman come out with their own proprietary wallet software that they can secure all their coins with, because I think that's the barrier to entry for a lot of these institutions, is securing a lot of their coins. So that's just the last piece that I wanted to say on that, and then move on to South Korea and ICOs. They're officially drafting a bill to legalize every ICO, giving kind of carte blanche to a lot of these places, a lot of these companies that want to start up ICOs, which is fantastic news, considering that I think it was 6 months ago the government was planning on banning all the crypto exchanges anyway. So now they've kind of gone full 360 or 180, and they're going to change their entire viewpoint. They're like, you know what, we don't like crypto, we think we should close everything down. And now, oh, you know what, we actually do like it. There's a lot of money coming into our country, and ICOs, wow, look at all the money that they raised, and look at all the countries that are profiting off of the ICOs. We should, if we want to be a real contender on the planet, we should probably be one of the first to do this. And here it is. So interesting stuff. I mean, South Korea is definitely leading the charge on a lot of these altcoins. Whenever a new coin gets listed on BitThumb, the thing kind of takes off like a rocket ship in the short term. So it just goes to show how open a country like South Korea is to new technologies. And we've kind of known that for a while, but
we might have like a nice Korea love fest here this summer too, eh?
Yeah, did you see that little peace agreement between North Korea and South Korea?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I mean, you can't write fucking better fiction than reality. People are actually talking about nominating Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. What the fuck? Are we living in like Bizarro world? I don't get this. This is insane.
Well, I heard you were nominated for the Nobel Prize in Economics.
Again, are we living in Bizarro world? What the fuck? This is nuts. I mean, when I saw that, Donald, I mean, God, you can't write better fiction than reality. If this fucking Donald Trump guy wins a Nobel Prize or the Peace Prize, oh my God. You can't write better fiction than reality. Then what else can you say? I'm just awestruck. So, you know, in a weird sort of way, and this would be awesome, right? Because this would be so perfect because the Koreans, they just go fucking insane for crypto, eh? And they go balls deep on all of this shit, right? And geez, what a perfect scenario for a blow off top for us all to get fucking stinking rich here, eh? So, wow. Hey, you can't write better fiction than reality. You just can't. It's shocking. So, yeah, I mean, I better get that damn account up and going on that KuCoin, eh? Everybody's moving there. Crazy world. I swear. Yeah, and if anything, guys, this is a really good lesson that, you know, no matter how politically opinionated you are, no matter how, in this world, you have to be flexible. You have to have strong convictions, but those convictions have got to be loosely held. And I think, you know, what we're seeing here out of Thomas's talk about South Korea and the way that their government policy can so easily shift over such a short period of time. If you buy into the short-term FUD in any of this stuff, you're just asking for trouble. If anything, it's almost like the public just got played there by their own damn government officials, you know? It angers me sometimes when I see this stuff. Hopefully what you guys do is you learn to take advantage of this, right? Buying when they're crying. And these silly government people, they will change their tunes so fast. All of a sudden, you know, that Christine Lagarde, perfect example. Where's Jeremy's girlfriend? You know, she was like total crypto hater, right? Now all of a sudden, oh no, crypto's not so bad. You know, I mean, perfect example. So, all right, Brian's off on a rant again. Sorry, guys. Donald
The
Trump.
only other thing I want to add to the South Korea North Korea peace treaty is that it was added to the Ethereum blockchain by
Ah,
a programmer.
that's cool. Because actually, that's a good segue. I mean, we could talk Bitcoin here. But you know, if we are altcoin enthusiasts, we really want to see Ethereum take off here. And Ethereum, you know, is trying to move up nicely here. I wonder if the move higher on Ethereum today is related to that. And maybe that, because I remember in yesterday's video, you had made reference, you were like, fuck, that's one hell of a hammer there. And sure enough, wicked follow through. In fact, everybody, if you don't know this pattern, guys, who can tell me what is this 3-bar pattern? This bar, and this bar.
You got to share your screen to YouTube, Brian.
Yeah, I think I just clicked over. I tried to catch it fast enough, but I will wait. YouTubers, tell me when it's over.
You're on it now.
All right. Very nicely done, guys. Like, this is an incredibly powerful signal right here in the market, and this is the end result of that powerful inverted empire. You see where these basically these highs are almost exactly the same in the spire, you know. And Thomas mentioned this hammer yesterday. Very powerful single bar. Put the 3 together, and woohoo! This is like a launch pad here. So I don't. Is this move higher here today, and in relation to that?
I don't think so. The news came out on the 28th about the peace treaty.
Well, okay. Anyway, shake it. You know, like I suppose we should. Well, let's do a little summary of Bitcoin, but Ethereum and all the altcoin enthusiasts. When I woke up this morning, I always like to just sort of look at my my matrix here. And the first thing that jumped out at me was, holy shit, altcoins are outperforming big time here. Now, you know what usually happens when we see altcoins outperforming this violently. At some point, you know who is going to be like, fuck that, man. I don't want them to get all the money, and he's going to want to play catch up. So we'll see how this goes. But as you know, like altcoin enthusiasts, look at your spreads too, eh? Spreads are trying to break out as well. So it sure feels like this is an uppy market. All right, let's that's probably a good, well, it says your connection was interrupted, but maybe a good segue. Why don't you tell us what you're seeing in Bitcoin here today?
I think the market's confused from what I'm seeing. There's a lot of indecision at the time when it looks like price is going to pull back, and then it just continues to make new highs. The analog that I want to make to this market that I think is important for everyone to pay attention to here is I'm seeing the same kind of price action along with internal bearishness as the price continues to move higher that we saw in November and like right after Thanksgiving. I remember like Thanksgiving night or the day after Thanksgiving, it looked like there was a really nice short setting up, and they brought the market down. It didn't quite tag 38.2 of the fib retracement range that I was using. And then we just took off and we never looked back. And I'm wondering if this may be a similar analog. I'm still really worried about the way these charts look. Really don't like seeing the hourly overbought with potential bearish divergences working for the last couple days. I hate the way that the daily looks with the overbought condition in Willie and this bearish divergence that is confirmed that's also working. I don't like it. It doesn't make me want to go long here. This is too late. You know, if you got in down here, great, good for you. I certainly did not. I think that this is it's, you know, as Brian says, we're climbing the wall of worry here. And I think if we really want to get seriously bullish, we got to break these highs here. And we haven't broken them yet. So it's really hard to say, yeah, I think we're going higher until we go above those previous closes here. And that is the 97.35 area on futures. And you'll know that this is a bull market when the futures just go, see you later. And there's going to be like a $200 premium on futures. And that's when you know it's a rip-roaring bull market.
Yeah.
But I'm not convinced yet. And I'm still cautious. I really don't see a direction here. And I worry that a lot of people are being sucked in. Now, Ethereum already broke out. So I like that. That's like the one thing that really makes me happy is seeing how Ethereum led Bitcoin higher going into, I guess it was the middle of April, that led the initial breakout on the 11th or the 12th of April.
Yeah, check out the Ethereum. That was the Ethereum US dollar chart, but check out the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. Ethereum is just owning Bitcoin today. Yep.
So I like that. I mean, I like that that's leading. I just really want to see Bitcoin break out, and then we can draw our bot levels, your ABCDs, probably bring us up into the 11,500 range. But
speaking of bots, let's see. I thought I did the levels up here. Oh, fudge. I should have had the chart in front of me before I interrupted you. Sorry, sir. What the hell is it? Where is it? Come on, you. It's around here somewhere. Darn, I can't find it. Anyway, I thought I did all the levels up. Oh, I totally fucked that up. Let me find the chart. Continue, sir.
Yeah, the only thing that I like a lot here in terms of the time frame that I would want to trade on is this 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart is the only one that's still not showing us overbought. And I'm wondering if that's the key here, is for this thing to go to its overbought conditions, see the divergence come in, and then we have a potential for a pullback. It's like somebody's trading the 4-hour market here, because there's been no reason for a pullback based on the 4-hour chart. So I would be, if anyone's looking for that pullback or is looking for a reason to get long, obviously you know the level to get long, but the pullback I think is going to show up on the 4-hour chart, which will lend credence to what we're seeing on the daily chart.
Okay, so with that in mind, just quick interruption. Here are the current bot levels, and I found it fascinating that basically this W here is the bot entry level. So, you know, for those people who are botters, there it is, staring you right in the face. 94.88 looks to be the bot level. The breakout, the W, will come in 95.65. Again, you know, sort of reiterating what Thomas is talking about, this ain't an easy trade. This certainly is not value. If anything, this is probably going to be like Davos, where we get W's in momentum oscillators and W's in volume oscillators, but from an overextended position, right? This is not value. This is total momentum play. And if this thing plays out, it's actually suggesting that we're going to go up and take a real run at these old highs. Bot levels here, just for the record, would be 11,994 as a target. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know whether Grim's here, but I think he's actually working a setup along these lines. I don't know whether it's GBTC or whether he's doing it on MEX, but I think he was posting in the lounge this morning that he had a setup like this working. And the only other thing that sort of lends peace of mind to me that this setup is legitimate is Brian's obsession with WD Gann and his crazy Gann angles. Remember, we had said don't get involved in the speed bump. And in essence, you can go long on the first structural market structure signal on the other side of the speed bump. And gee whiz, what a coincidence. That's basically going to line up with those bot levels. And, you know, if this plays out, you can see we're comfortably in the up arc, and the next major down Gann angle comes in, gee whiz, right around 12,000. And you can actually see there's a nice confluence. The next down arc, down angle, and this up arc all seem to conflue. Can you say that? Do they conflue? Is that a word? Right up around this 12,000 area. So this is a pretty important mark here. And if anything, I think, you know, our advice on the site to just cool your jets, wait for this to play out, just don't get involved in the speed bump. We had bearish divergences. Remember, we were even saying, you know, those people that did want to hunt shorts, we did have a fractal top that was on a bearish divergence. And those shorts will get busted out on the breaking of this fractal top. And one could argue that that in itself will actually get a whole bunch of people on the long side as well. So it's interesting how these levels are all starting to congeal here. And as I had said before, it's super important to me that we actually start seeing some leadership in this space. So, if Ethereum wants to be the leader, which it sure looks like it's leading today, great. Show us somebody lead. And look at ETC. We've talked lots about ETC. He's trying to lead as well, breaking out as well. And look at your buddy here. Your buddy, I think, is going to put in a nice little bot as well. Hey, Thomas, can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So I know this was your middle finger setup, but I don't think the middle finger actually, you could argue that the middle finger setup is really, I guess, a head and shoulders. Can you see the head and shoulders? But I don't know whether this the middle finger setup actually fired here yet. Notice how it came right down there. So I don't know. I get the feeling kind of like with Bitcoin and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a nice little bot that's going to take us up into this area too. So only time will tell. But if anything, this is a really good analogy, guys. That double bottom value. I remember big hairy ones. It was tough taking these trades. And now we're into trend continuation setups. Does that make sense, guys? Bottom hunting, right? Trying to catch falling knife, buying against institutional fingerprints, RLZs, all that kind of stuff, hunting gaps. Then the market breaks out. Now, this isn't cheap. This is going to be a little higher stress. You're not value hunting. Now you're trading trend continuation patterns to take us back up into prior higher time frame reload zones. So let's see, just out of curiosity, if we go boobity boo, everybody see how that paints a reload zone on Litecoin up here at about, it looks like about 198 to 222 in school. I said, ideally, the best way to use all of these harmonics and everything that I'm trying to teach you is to have them overlap. So can you see, Axel, how this AB equals CD harmonic is going to do nothing more than take us up into Mountain Man? You see how that works? So that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. I don't know. I don't know whether Litecoin's a touchy subject for you. Did you decide to totally abandon Litecoin there, Thomas, or are you gone?
Yeah, I sold most of mine at 38.2, so I don't have a position on Litecoin now. But if this comes in, I mean, I'm certainly happy to take the trend continuation.
Cool. If you can hop on this bot, if you are a botter. And if anything, guys, this is an excellent testament that you have to find out what type of trader you are. Some people love the bot. Some people absolutely hate it. I can't force it down your throat. If it works for you and it speaks to you, run with the ball. If not, I'm not going to be insulted if you don't trade it. It's just another setup. All right, where shall we go next?
Where should we go next?
Woo,
wow, Bitcoin's really popping here.
Yeah, it looks like your chart's trying to break out to the top here, right?
Yeah.
Look at that MACD. Beautiful, nice W there, right? And your cokehead's actually on a bit of a
yeah, he's popping back up again.
Yeah. And actually, that's Thomas gave you guys just an absolutely incredibly valuable nugget there. I don't even think you guys did it. I didn't see anybody actually reference that. But he actually told you, and this is why you have to journal. He told you that he said, well, I've seen this market state before. Well, we're on Thomas's chart, so that's fine. I'll just leave it on there for now. Did everybody remember when did he say, oh, I've seen this before, and the market tries to goad you into going short, and then all of a sudden it just rips your butt out from underneath you. Yeah, very good, Axel. Guys, you got to write this stuff down. You have to, this is how you learn as a trader. Hey, I've seen them do this before, right? And this is all about market state and that climbing the wall of worry. Because I kind of agree with Thomas in that it feels like they're trying to goad people into going short. It feels like they want people to think that the market's going down. and then it goes and just puts in another fucking high. For a guy like me, I'm just super pleased as punch that I had the patience and discipline not to make any decisions until we got on the other side of this speed bump. I honestly think that was the best advice I could have possibly given all of you guys. All right, that's another one of Brian's rants. Sorry about that. Any altcoins that have your attention here today?
Well, I think there's some good news coming out of Waves tomorrow. They're launching their smart contracts tomorrow, and they put out a tweet that has some details. So I'm sure we've seen Waves kind of over the last couple of days start to move higher in anticipation of this news. Yeah. Let's see if the tweet will load.
Looks like somebody's ready to rock this thing. Question will be, will tomorrow being the news event day be the sell the news event? Nice to see on the daily charts, no signs of divergence yet here, so that's good. And I suppose all those people that I told in the level oneers, can you guys see another big ass weekly W coming in here? And actually this is great because you can see the old weekly W over here. And now you got a new weekly W that's trying to come in here. And of course we've broken the downtrend line. And one of the guys on the site who pops in fairly early in the morning, he's over in Europe, Nils. He's a principal in this. And I think they've got big things on the horizon coming. So that would make sense. We've got a whole shitload of this. So, rocket waves. I think Julian says, Thomas, hide the heads on your screen. It's difficult. I have to go and click present to everyone, Julian, and it's a sort of a manual job that I have to do, so hopefully the heads are gone there now. Okay, so what do you got there you want to tell us about, Mr. Waves?
Wave smart contracts are released tomorrow, May 4th, 1 p.m. UTC. So you can actually watch the testnet on Steemit. There's a link here. I'll retweet this for anyone who follows me. You can easily find this now. There's a nice little graphic here that shows what smart contracts will bring to the Waves platform that includes atomic swaps, token freeze, and dApps. There's also multi-signature wallets, yada, yada. So this is really exciting for everyone who's been involved in Waves. And I'm sorry, but I just keep getting distracted by this Bitcoin price. We're getting really close to breaking up on this part.
Where's your volume bars? And are the shorts loading up?
So that's, I wanted to show this before. It slipped my mind, but the market was moving in lockstep with the longs versus shorts, where longs and shorts were going up at the same time. So I think that's why I said the market was kind of in an indecision period, but it seems like the market wants to break higher. It hasn't yet. We still have to wait for this goddamn thing to bust up here. Yeah, so we'll maybe this will happen while we're going through the rest of the brief here.
What's the high on your little orange arrow there on the stamp chart down below? What's the high right there? Take that out.
You talking up here?
No, the chart on the bottom where the orange arrow is.
That high looks like 95.38. So we are 12 or well, now we're $18 away.
17, 16, whoop, 12.
Here it comes. 30, oh, this thing's about to pop.
Get ready, here it comes. 40, boom! There we go.
Boom. Woo! Now let's see if we go up and tag this line again.
Yeah, now what we want to see is the volume pour in here. Go down to like a 5-minute chart and see if we got any divergence or anything coming in here. 52. Launch, baby. Launch. Ooh, look at that volume. Nice volume. Surge, baby. Surge. We want to see a surge here. And then we went after the stops.
It's interesting because futures broke above that area first. Forwards, excuse me. Whatever.
That's good. That's exactly what. How do your spreads look? All right. Yeah, I can see stamps rocking it here on my charts. And actually, I love when we do this. Okay, so we don't want to, you see the price just pulled back there, right? We don't want to crap out. No shooting stars here, please. So on the
Yeah,
hourly
forwards are
on the
really
OK
going away.
coin, we've got yeah, this is what we want to watch for, right? You don't want to see OK coin going flake out here. So nice, and the problem here is the hourly RSI now sitting at 84. Awfully nosebleedy. So come on, go and OK coin's got to go and take out, and its high was pretty high up there, eh? 96, 95, 78. We got to see that blasted out there. So really, we want to see through 9,700. So what does your order book look like? Where's the OK
I
coin order book?
don't have that loaded, but I'm looking at it right now. There's a little bit of resistance at 96.85, but I've seen roughly 350,000 contracts go long since New York Kill Zone. A lot of 50,000s, a lot of 20,000s, and my running mental tally is roughly 350,000 contracts have gone long since 9:30, or sorry, 8:45 Eastern was when I started paying attention this morning. But it sure looks like, I mean, here's an interesting thing. All right. We used to mention this when I was first drawing attention to the OK coin liquidation levels. So at 10x leverage, I'm going to bring up this chart one more time. At 10x leverage, if you went short in this area, right, when you initially saw this steep decline on Monday, thinking, all right, this is going to continue. This looks really bearish. I was getting really bearish. Just looked like crap. If you went long in this area at 8,800, excuse me, if you went short in this area at say 8,800, 8,900, whatever that may be, the 10x liquidation level, where if price goes too high, you lose your position. That number is roughly 98 to 9,900 at 10x leverage. At 20x leverage, it's half that. So it was probably reached at about, probably in this area at the 9,350 or 9,400 level. So it wouldn't surprise me to see forwards want to go and liquidate anyone that decided to go short here before making a decision to come back down to earth, sort of. I'm seeing a lot of action with 10,000 contracts going short in the 9,660 range, and we're knocking back to 9,650.
Yeah.
But this is, of course, going to be the last set of resistance are these tails up here, excuse me, these wicks up here at 97.35. This is the traffic zone. This is the key area that we need to breach, and we're getting rejected somewhat.
Yeah.
So at least on the short term.
It sucks, but what we really wanted to see if this was a bull is you just want to see it just clean right through there like butter. Doesn't look like she's quite ready yet. Now, 10 o'clock. This is an interesting time of day for this to happen, eh? Garrett likes to watch this. Any sort of futures contracts or any settlement or anything that we should know about that just happened? Kind of an odd time of day for them to be running this thing. I wonder if somebody got squeezed. London Kill Zone? All right, well, it's not quite now. Maybe tonight? All right. Okay, so if anything, really good lesson for everybody just watching just in the short term. You can see off of my chart, not the most impressive breakout on momentum, and the volume just didn't really come in. Like if this was a bull, right, we wanted to see higher highs on the volume bars blasting through. We actually got a bit of a divergence there on the buying pressure, so that's a little disappointing. But nonetheless, don't think it's a good idea to step in front of this train just yet. If anything, maybe let's wait patiently for some ME type action if we're thinking about hopping on the short side. My hunch is, for whatever it's worth, that they're going to go and clean these out. We're just so close to here. I don't think they can't. But at the same time, too, are we, trending violently higher from these levels? Got to cool your jets on that one. I do like the idea, though, that the higher time frame players might be coming in off of these bots. You can see just off of this Phoenix bot now, anybody who just pulled the trigger there at 88, they're already actually sitting up, $150 off that trade already. Damn. So, this market's in motion. And I actually get the feeling it's not the lower time frame players that are playing this so much. It's the higher time frame players that are coming in here. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, a lot of big contracts exchanging hands here. So you're right. This is a long-term play for whoever's getting involved in this area.
Yeah. Okay, well, that is past the top of the hour. Ooh, look at, are your shorts getting squeezed there on your chart?
Looks like they're coming off a little bit. Yeah, and longs are making new highs on the 15-minute, but let's take a look at what the hourly looks like. Is a totally different picture than what the 15-minute looks like. And yes, shorts are still getting squeezed.
Yeah. Don't squeeze the juice. Yeah, I way too early for us to be thinking about stepping in on the short side here. Interesting though. Look at this single ticks up top there. I'm surprised. It's almost like that was almost like a stop run, eh?
Hmm.
Yeah, interesting. All right. Well, never a dull moment. Should be an exciting day in the lounge, everybody. And hopefully, tomorrow's daily brief, we'll be talking about bot levels. Move stop to break even getting hit. Stop to scratch. Stop to break even will be nice, comfortably move above 10,000. Also, too, I think, and we haven't talked about this, but I think the big fat round number has got to come into play here now. I think 10,000 in a weird sort of way is like a magnet. If we had crapped out here and broken down and head and shoulders, fractal, double top, blah, 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 then I think 10,000 would have been massive resistance. But now, since we've sort of resolved to the upside here, I think 10,000 now has to be like a magnet. So, all right. Any closing thoughts for the good people here today, sir?
I mean, this is the ultimate excitement, right? You like to watch. We like to see these markets start to move and watch a lot of price action come in, and it's great that we were able to do this live. But again, just because we're moving up, I would say pretty violently here over the last couple hours, doesn't mean that it's time to buy. The issue here is even if we do break these old highs at 97-ish and change and continue to move higher.
Ethereum chart on your screen, eh?
Yeah, so I mean, even if you do break these highs at 97.35, that's not necessarily a buy on an hourly chart. If you are a longer term trader and you are looking at a daily chart, it's too late to buy, right? I mean, this is going to have to come back at some point, but it's a tough position to be in. You're looking at the, again, bearish divergence, overbought conditions. There's a potential trend continuation, but who's to say this doesn't just break to new highs, establish another divergence, and then plop back down again? So my advice to everyone is whatever your trading plan says, this is where you follow that. And this is where having a trading plan is the most important thing about trading these markets. If you don't have the plan, you're going to get lost in the dust. Your head's going to spin around 1,080 degrees, and it's going to untwist the complete opposite direction, and you're going to be so confused, you're not going to know what to do. And unfortunately, you may lose some money in the process. So if you don't have a trading plan, please put one together. Brian will work with you. I will work with you. I'm sure that Grim and Garrett and James and everyone else that would be happy to help you out will certainly do that. So please don't trade this market unless you have your trading plan, because you can see the potential to the downside certainly still exists, and you don't want to get caught with your pants down.
Well said. And if anything, that's a great sales pitch. If you haven't gotten your butt into the school program, get in there, put the time and effort. Axel, do you think it helped you taking that level 1 and just making sure what the hell a plan is, and how do we put it together, and how do we trade setups, and how do we identify what the fuck a setup is? Get your butt into that school, get it done. It's like 12 weeks of intensive work. Once you're on the other side of that, just like Alex or Axel says, it'll change your life. You can't look at the market the way you used to. So take Thomas's advice to heart, people. This is serious shit, right? We're talking money here, right? Be a professional. Work from a plan. Trade setups. Don't just fucking listen to somebody. Oh, that looks like a buy. That looks like so. All right, I'll do that. Because you're just going to get your ass handed to you. Be pros. That's the whole point of why we do this. And make me proud, right? All right. So on that note, thank you very much, Thomas. Excellent job as always. Thank you for everybody in the lounge contributing their 2 cents today as well. Great to see lots of veterans on the site coming back. We saw a couple people on the site I haven't seen in a while today. Payman's back in the fold. Great to see you too, buddy. So you guys all kick some serious ass. Play from a position of strength. And, of course, we'll see everybody again bright and early tomorrow morning. All right, all the best, and bye for now.